Hi, Mona.
Hello, Kristen. Good to see you.
Please tell us your name, your title, and your company.
My name is Mona Amodeo, and I am the founder and CEO of ID Group. We are a brand transformation firm located here in Pensacola, Florida. And what we do is we help organizations be successful by telling their story in a way that is compelling, exciting, and engaging.
I'm going to ask because I don't think this was what you went to school for.
I always describe my life. I say, some people are born with, I think they come out of the womb knowing exactly what they want to do. My life was a little bit different, and in some ways maybe not. So when I graduated from high school, I thought I wanted to be an attorney. And, I kind of had my mind set on that. And when I went into college, I majored in history. I was always really good in history and political science and, anything that wasn't math, I was good at. English, but I was like one of those people that walked as far away from the math and science buildings as I could. But anyway, so I loved history, was really good at that, political science, and I thought, it makes sense. I'm going to be an attorney. Well, took classes and actually worked for an attorney for a short period of time, and I think it was my sophomore year, I got a job with a corporate attorney group, and quickly realized that perhaps being an attorney was not what I was cut out to be, at least a corporate attorney. My dream of being an attorney was to be Perry Mason. For those of you who don't remember Perry Mason, that was the trial attorney. That was the guy who got in front of everybody and convinced the jury at the last minute and won the case. And that's really what I wanted to be. But, really the journey led me to a different place. And so early, even in my college career, and even since then, this has been a process of discovery, trying some things, figuring this out. This didn't work. This doesn't fit, which led me to where I am today. So the journey was like this. Started out with the thought that I was going to be an attorney. Quickly realized that perhaps that wasn't the thing, although I really, really liked it. It really wasn't what I really wanted to do. Couldn't see myself in that corporate world. Ended up in through my history class, having to do presentations, and everybody, you're really good at this. I thought, maybe I'll be a teacher. And actually, at the same time, my husband then was actually my boyfriend then ended up going to go into dental school, and so I had to figure out a career that could make money and at the same time do something I wanted to do. So took some education classes, fell in love with it, ended up being a middle school teacher and then a high school teacher. Which I still today say was one of the most rewarding and I think educational things for me, because much of what I do today with clients has a lot to do with teaching, informing, educating. So the teaching part of it helped me grow as a person, helped me grow as a dealing with people and complexity and learning how to manage. So there was a lot of skills I developed as a teacher that actually became very transferable to what I do today. And from there, ended up going back into my master's degree in communications. I became very much intrigued with storytelling. And then the concept of history and storytelling led me to communications, where I was on a documentary team at the University of West Florida, taught broadcast journalism. And again, all around stories, etc. Learned a lot about people, about teaching, about business in that world of documentary. And then for multiple reasons, decided to leave the university and had this bright idea that I was just going to start a business because I wanted to do things my way. Now, I'd never taken an advertising class in my life, but I was going to start an advertising agency because I wasn't looking at things as an advertising agency. I was looking at it as storytelling, much of what I had done in my work as a documentary producer. So all that to say is my life was not a clear path, but at every step along the path, I gained, I grew, I developed, that led me and opened my eyes to the next path. Because sitting as a high school student in Columbus, Georgia, wondering what I was going to do, I would have never envisioned owning a branding firm. But now if you go back and look at my path, you'll see at every step along the way, I won't call it destiny, but I would call it the universe was pulling me. And I made the best of every step. I learned, I excelled, but I also said at times it's time for me to do something else. And I was able to push past fear, because at every point there is a little fear, because it's a lot more comfortable to keep doing what you do. So it wasn't a straight path, but again, looking back, it all makes perfectly good sense. Looking forward, it makes no sense at all.
One of my favorite quotes is from Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Is that if you look back, and I'm messing it up, you can connect the dots.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned a couple things that I just wanted to kind of talk to you about in your own journey, but also being the CEO of this company, how you hire people. What in those jobs, as well as when you look to hire people at your branding firm, what besides a GPA do you think is critical in your own discovery, as well as what you're looking for when you're looking to hire people?
I think it's a really great question, because I think that there is, when I'm looking for people here at ID Group, and if you come to ID Group, you'll see this in all the people who work here. They're just really smart, they're inquisitive, they are disciplined, they're passionate, and they're collaborators. Those are the things that make them good at what they do. Whether it's a creative person, or whether it's the operations manager, or whether it's a digital manager, or whether it's the writers, it doesn't matter. Every one of these people share in common those kind of traits. Equally important, they share certain values that we have, our belief system. Everyone isn't suited to work for ID Group, because everyone doesn't necessarily see the world the way we see it. And the way we see it is we are a company who believes very much in our responsibility. Yes, we do great creative work, and yes, we do amazing work with our clients as far as strategy and planning and all. But ultimately, we feel a great responsibility to help clients succeed that we believe are making the world better. And so when you come to work with ID Group, there's a value set that I think is important. But then this over here are the skill sets, and then there are these character sets that I call them. And I know you do a lot of this with CR, and one of the reasons I love you guys so much is work is about the how-to, but work is also about the why. Work is also about your responsibility to yourself and to your colleagues and to the bigger world. So yeah, I'm looking for a real mix of people. It's not always the star, but when people come to work here, they become stars, if that makes sense to you.
Love it. So tell them, what is a normal day like for you and your teammates? So if they're interested in this and they think it's great, they better not like sitting at their desk all day.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what it's like to work in this field.
So our job is to serve our clients. Our job is to do what we have to do, whatever it takes to serve our clients. That means we don't work for ourselves. We work for them. And it's really important that anyone working here understand that we don't have normal days, except the day is always abnormal. So if you're looking for a job that starts at 9 and you leave at 5 and you have an hour lunch, this is probably not the world for you. Not just ID Group, but anybody who works in this world of branding, marketing, advertising. Our day, while we have a very flexible work environment here, there are meetings, mandatory meetings everybody has to attend. People pretty much come and go and work in coffee shops and work here and work all over the place. So the people who thrive in this kind of environment are very self-directed, very disciplined, understand the comings and the goings, right? So for me personally, I mean, I've done this 30 years. My day starts around 5:30 with checking emails, kind of planning my day, looking at everything. I spend a lot of time on the business of the business early in the morning. I spend a lot of time sometimes writing. Most of my meetings are in the afternoon, and when my days sometimes end at 6 as far as leaving here, sometimes after that, because I have meetings after work sometimes. Remember, we work for clients, so we have to meet them we try to find a place that's reasonable. We don't like our team to be working at 8 o'clock at night on Saturdays and Sundays, but sometimes you have to. You have to do what you need to do. But the average situation here is people show up around here around 9. We usually are out of here by 5 or 5:30, and all that is usually. But everybody here, we do what we need to do to get the job done, and that is not a check the clock in, check the clock out. It's whatever needs to be done.
Does everyone here have a degree?
Everyone here has a degree.
Has a degree. So, and your salary range in this kind of field is probably, what would be?
Yeah, so that's a really good question in that there's entry-level people. What do I mean by entry? Entry-level people are people who have a degree. This is really important, have done internships. You don't get in the door here without an internship, period. We want people who have gone and done other things, who, I don't care if it's working at McDonald's or you've done some real work, not that you did a project in college. So the internship piece of this, the proof that you're industrious, that you've been out working, that you've been in the real world, very important. So a degree, number one. Number two, internships or some form of work experience, even if it's not related to what we do here. So when people come in here, they come in either that level or they come in, they've done other jobs, meaning they've been out of college 2 or 3 years and they come in. So those are the two kind of entry level positions. Of course, we had someone here that owned an agency, later, but let's just talk about the entry level, since I think that's probably most specific. Entry level positions here run anywhere from $30,000 to $35,000 as entry, or hourly. So depending on what we need, depending on what we're doing. So a person who has a couple years experience, who can bring some value to the table, that's probably around 35. A person who doesn't could be hourly, could be less, just depends. But the salaries, just so you know, the way this business works is you make money when you make money for the company. Early in the day, you are not making money for the company. You are costing money because we're having to invest time, energy. You cannot typically work independently. So probably about 3 years into this industry, you're now ready to make money for the company. So salaries then jump to 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. People who are at the director, VP level of companies like ours can make $150,000 a year. If you're working in a big market, you can make $500,000 a year, but this is not easy work. This is never a 9-to-5 job. Never.
Well, and I think one of the things that you said, Mona, that resonates in any job is your first 2 to 3 years out of college, you're not making money for the company anywhere. They're investing so much, and I think young professionals get so frustrated because they have this idea of what they're worth.
Yeah.
But if you do that and you prove yourself to 2 to 3 years, then your salary can grow.
Now you have value. See, the process is this: get information. So you go to school and you learn how it's supposed to be. You learn theory, you learn etc. At the same time you're doing this, which is again, Kristen, what you guys are doing is the way to do this. When you're even in high school, you're doing projects, you're engaging, you're learning about people, teams, all of those kind of things. That's really important. So then you go to college. Same thing should be going on there. Every leadership opportunity you can get, every opportunity that you can get to do real work, to learn, and whether you get paid or not, irrelevant, although it might be needed, but still. When you walk out and you flip that tassel over and graduate from college, good for you, because that's really the beginning of the beginning, professionally. And so, again, I say to people, when we bring in new people, and it's even hard for us these days to do that, but we do occasionally bring in a person straight from college, the amount of energy it takes us to really now show these people, how do you take your skill set and become a professional? That's a difference. So 3 years, you're starting to be a professional and you're starting to be valuable. So yeah, it is hard. Because we do have people come in here and think they're going to make $60,000 right out of college. It ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. So pay your dues, do your work, create value, sweep the floors, empty the garbage cans, work extra, volunteer for everything, and you're likely to be then in 3 years at a point where your value is with that company that you started with, or another company. You're gonna have something to sell.
Mona, thank you so much. This was
Thank you.
fantastic.
Thank you.